Good morning, everyone. It's George Bayruthi here from FS Securities, giving you the market report for Monday morning, the 14th of August 2023. Let's go and see what happened on Saturday morning when we woke up. We found that the Dow Jones was up 105 points or 0.3%. However, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq were both down by 0.1% and 0.6% respectively. In America, Tesla and Apple. Tesla was down $2.69 or 1.1%, and Apple was steady at $177.79. In New York, BHP and Rio were both down by 0.6% and 0.5% respectively. In Europe, the Stoxx 50 index, which comprises most major European markets, was down 1.5%. And as you can see here, the FTSE in London was down 1.2%. The CAC in France was down 1.3%. And the DAX in Germany was down 1%. On Friday, our market via the gauge, the ASX 200, XJO as is known, was down 0.2% or 17 points. The futures this morning indicate that the market most likely will open down by 47 points or 0.7%. Gold on Saturday morning was trading at $1,913.88 US per ounce, and silver was $22.75 US per ounce. Brent and crude oil were both up, that is 0.4% and 0.3% respectively. Iron ore price was trading at $105.37 US per tonne. The Australian dollar trading at nearly 65 US cents. The 10-year yield in America, 4.16%, and the Australian yield slightly above it, which is strange because for the last few weeks we've seen the 10-year yield in Australia lower than the American 10-year yield. Bitcoin on Saturday was trading at 29,400, and as you can see here, for a long time it's been trading around the $30,000 US per coin. Remember, it actually the highest level ever for Bitcoin was 66,800. That's nearly 2 years ago. And about a year ago, I think it dropped to 15,600, recovered to 30,300. And as you can see, it hasn't really gone much higher than that 30,300 many months ago. In Australian dollars, trading at 45,200, slightly down from Friday morning. And again, as a matter of interest, the highest level ever, our Bitcoin in Australian dollars was 88,900, and the lowest was 23,700, got up to 45,200, and as you can see, since that time, it hasn't really exceeded level by much, only slightly a couple of days ago at 45,700. But mind you, this is actually more or less like a resistance point. It's been trading for a long time, almost below that level. Now let's go further and find out over the 3 weeks how the market has actually changed over 3 weeks or even 1 month. The Dow over the month is up 2.2%. However, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq were both down over the month. In Europe, the Stoxx 50 index, which comprises most major European markets, was down 1.8%. The FTSE in London was up 1.2%. However, the DAX in Germany was down 1.7% over the month. Our market over the month, steady, hasn't really done a great deal over a month. Gold trading at $1,913 US per ounce, is down $46 US over the week. However, when you put the 3 weeks together, it's only down $11.30 US per ounce. That is actually 0.6%. Silver, down $1.76 over the week, down to $22.74, and over the month was up 2.4%. Over the 3 weeks is down 2.4%. And Brent and crude oil, as you can see over the month, down 10.6%, down 2.6% respectively for Brent and crude oil. All right, soybeans down $10.25 US per bushel, down 0.8%. Ask the question, are the Chinese buying from American soybean? All right, now let's have a look at our trades, our trading portfolio. Just to remind you, at the end of June 23, our conservative market was up 16%. The volume-based portfolio, that is, we pick up the stocks based on excessive volume. When we compared the last volume against a moving average over 50 days or over 50 weeks, we find that the volume portfolio did the best, 22.3% higher. However, the aggressive portfolio was down 4.8%, and the momentum portfolio was almost steady. And the ASX 200, that is actually at the end of June 23, was up 8%. We outperformed the market for both the conservative and the volume portfolio, but underperformed the market for both the aggressive portfolio and the momentum portfolio. I won't worry too much about the end of 22. Let's have a look and see what we've got this morning. Well, on Friday, the market was down 0.2%, and the only portfolio that outperformed the market was actually the volume as a matter of interest. However, the other three portfolio on Friday will underperform the market. As you can see, 0.24% against 0.4% for the aggressive portfolio, 0.8% down for the conservative portfolio, and 1.7% down on the momentum. However, when we look at since July 22, when we started to trade again in 2020, the second half of 22, we find the ASX 200 was up 10.4%, but we outperformed the market for 3 of the 4 portfolios. And again, the best portfolio was the volume portfolio, was up by 23.4%. The conservative portfolio not far behind it at 19.1%, and the momentum portfolio almost the same as the market. I'm going to show you exactly what we're trading in a minute. And let's go back to the home page, and we look at the stocks. Okay, how we managed to make 23% profit. Mesoblast, by the way, is actually doing very badly. We're down 40.7%. The reason why we've kept it is that it's trading at the moment at 36 cents, and the fair value is saying it's supposed to be $5.75. So that's why we're hanging on, but I think at this stage we may consider closing it and take our money and run. But anyway, we're making very good profit with Temple Webster. Temple Webster is up 74%, and Live 360 up 71.4%. ANZ has given us 17.4% return, and Main Pharma 19% return. So that's how we managed to make 23.4. The second best portfolio is 19.1% profit since July 22, and that's on the basis of Whitehaven Coal. The code is WHC, up 36%, and followed by BHP giving us 33.4%. The Commonwealth Bank, despite that extra dividends that we received of $210, has only given us 3.2%. James Hardie, we were losing money on James Hardie. We now managed to make nearly 20% return. Mineral Resources also giving us 21% return. And by the way, I'm going very quickly through all these trades. At the end of this presentation, I am going to give you our details, so you can communicate with us, and we'll give you the full copy of this report so you can study the figures at your own leisure and your own time. Okay, we're losing money in we're underperforming the market in the aggressive. Lake Resources, we closed it. However, we managed to lose 23% return, 23% losses. Coronado is giving us some good profit, and so is Appen. Yancoal was giving us very, very good profit about 10 months ago, and now is only giving us 4% return. Again, looking at the volume, I mentioned Temple Webster and Live 360. Again, we're looking at Live 360 trading at $7.80, and the fair value is $9, so we still have a little bit more to go. Temple Webster, on the other hand, the fair value is lower than the last price. So maybe we should take some profit and run with Temple Webster. Happy that we made 74% return. Other shares that have given us some good profit: WiseTech 78% return, Pilbara Minerals 39% return, New Hope 25% return. Core Lithium was actually a major disappointment. We entered the market at $1.06, and we actually closed it after it dropped to nearly 57.5 cents. All right, let's continue with our presentation. And here we're going to look at most active, the weekly. Here we see at the end of last week, we found that Baby Bunting was up 21% return, Deep Yellow 13% return, and Neo Metals, 5E Advanced Materials, and TPG all giving us some nice return. But if you put it all together over the weekly, here this is actually looking at the weekly in total, and we compare these stocks in the number of times it appeared the last 4 weeks. Magellan was up 6.5%. However, it's on the top of the list. Why? Because for 4 times over the last 4 weeks, it turned up as being a positive stock. Adairs going up last week by 5.6%. Again, for the last 4 weeks, it appeared 4 times. AMP was up 13.7%. Very nice return. However, it only appeared 3 times out of 4 weeks. And James Hardie as well was up 3 times out of the last 4 weeks. Now looking at the daily, sorry, we got this wrong. The Star Entertainment, as a matter of interest, was up 17.9% on Friday. There was a major announcement with the Star Entertainment. I think ASIC or the tax has given them some more time to pay the $35 million fine or whatever, and therefore the cash flow is a lot better now that they have to spread this over 5 years. Nick Scali had some good return. It was up 13.3% on Friday. Select Harvest and Renascor was up nearly 11% both. All right, well, that's about it. Now, the last thing I want to show you, advance and decline. Here we got 8 days of trading. Red here showing that the declines exceeded the advances. And 7 out of 8 days, the declines exceeded the advances. So what does it tell you? The market the last 8 trading days was bearish, very bearish actually, as you can see here. So, and the volume on the other hand got up and then steadied a bit, but again these 5 days are more or less close to the average, which is actually on the decline. If you put 5 days together, each of these bars indicate the decline versus advances over 5 collective days, and you can see here the last 2 weeks the declines have been a lot more than the advances. Alright, well, at this stage we stop here and I'm going to give you my details. Again, if you want to communicate with me, if you're local in Australia, my phone number is 0411 25 9526. If you're ringing from overseas, 61 is the country code. You ring 61, you don't need the 0, 61 411 259526, or you can email me. You can write me an email and send it to George at FS. FS stands for full service. FS Securities, plural. George at fssecurities.com.au. Happy trading. Trade safely and wisely, and have a fantastic day and week.